Benvenuto! Welcome to Cherry Hill Home Cooking. My name is Mark. Today we're going to make chicken Francese. I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, please forgive me if that is not the right pronunciation. Now, this is not 100% an authentic Italian dish. I don't think if you go to Italy, anyone will be making it in their home, or if you go to a restaurant, I don't think you'll see it on the menu because it's Italian-American. It's got its origins in an Italian-American restaurant, I think in upstate New York or someplace in New York. I had it many years ago and have loved it. So I've kind of incorporated it into the things that I make. So anyway, we've made chicken piccata. We have a video, an episode in our videos. So if you haven't checked that out, check it out. They're very similar. There's a couple differences between them. Chicken piccata has capers in it. It's got breadcrumbs and, when you fry it. The chicken Francese doesn't have capers, and it's got a little bit more lemony flavor to it. So it's basically a lemon chicken, which, well, that's on my mind. If any of our followers out there have never made Ina Garten's lemon chicken, check it out. It's absolutely delicious. But anyway, so what we're going to need. This is going to be recipe for 2 if you're really big eaters. But you need about 4 6-ounce chicken breasts. Okay, and we're going to flatten them. We're going to flatten this one in a minute, and you're going to pound them out flat. Now, you could use chicken cutlets, very thinly cut. I have tried it with those. The thing with when you pound the chicken breast out, it tenderizes it. So in my opinion, it comes out a little bit better. Then it's just a few other really quick ingredients that I'm sure everybody has in their cabinet. Of course, we're going to need some good quality olive oil, and this is when you definitely want to use extra virgin olive oil because we're going to be frying in this, and that's going to add some flavor. Now, a few simple spices. A lot of recipes I don't see that they add. Some I see they'll add fresh garlic. Some don't add any garlic whatsoever. The recipe that I've kind of made over the years, I like some granulated garlic, whatever your favorite Italian seasoning spice, your favorite Italian seasoning spice mix. Of course, we're going to need some salt and pepper. We're going to need some chicken stock because we're going to make a nice sauce with this, and we need some white wine. Now, if you don't want to use wine, just increase the amount of the chicken stock. And again, this will all be in the completed recipe. Amounts and so on and so forth. And then we're going to give the chicken a light flour and egg coating. So in this, I've got about a half a cup of flour. I've got my granulated garlic and my Italian seasoning in there. I've got 3 large eggs, and we've got our chicken breast. And then we're going to garnish it with some nice flat leaf parsley. We'll chop that up in a bit. So I've pounded out 3 of the breasts. We're going to pound this one out. Then we'll get this away and we'll jump right into cooking. All right. So we've done this before. Nothing difficult. Sometimes if you go to a restaurant, you end up with this really, really thin piece of chicken, fills the whole plate. If you want to pound the chicken out that much, of course, it's your chicken, so do whatever you want with it. I find that for ease of cooking and ease of flouring and egg, I like to pound it out to just about a ½ inch. And remember, so the one side of the chicken breast is a little bit thinner than the other side, so keep that in mind. And I think that's pretty good. I'm not going to touch it, but we're just about a ½ inch there. It's been pounded out. All right. So before we get started, of course, what we want to do is you're going to mix those in together. We'll do that now so we have it ready. That's just our granulated garlic and Italian seasoning. And then you want to give your eggs, break them up, and get them well mixed in there. All right, and we'll make you watch me do all that. We will come back and start cooking. See you in a little bit. Okay, just a couple quick things before we got cooking. I know I said when we came back we would stop, but I forgot a couple things. So definitely in this recipe, if you're following along with us and making it, keep the written recipe handy because I've been all over the place. I don't know why I haven't been able to concentrate tonight. But anyway, I should have told you that we're gonna need a little bit of butter and some more all-purpose flour because that's gonna make our sauce. Now we're not gonna make gravy, we're gonna make a sauce. And then also, one of the most important things in this is we need a couple lemons, all right? Because we're going to need some lemon slices and we're going to need some fresh lemon juice. All right, so I have lightly salted all of my other cutlets. I'm just saving this one to show you. You know, and of course, salt and pepper is to taste. In the recipe, I definitely don't skip salting and peppering your cutlet because that's important. Whether you want to add additional salt or pepper at the end, of course, completely up to you. In the recipe, I'll put the amount of salt and pepper that I ultimately end up using in this recipe. But so let's get cooking here. All right, so I've got a pan heated up. You want it at about medium high, all right? So you want this to be pretty hot because we want to get a nice sear and a nice brown coating on our cutlets. So you probably in total are going to use a fourth, maybe a little bit more cup of olive oil. So we're just going to coat that really well. This works really good in a non-stick pan. Sometimes when we do breadcrumbs, it doesn't work quite as well, but in this case, the egg is on the outside, so that it works really, really well using a non-stick pan. If you don't use a non-stick pan, it might not end up looking as, the end product may not end up looking as pretty. All right, so good way to tell if your oil is hot enough, which I don't think it is, so we're gonna give it just a few more minutes. So we can put the butter and the rest of our flour and our lemons aside for now because we won't need those for a bit. All right, so a good way to check to see. Of course, you can do this with water or since you've got your... It's not sizzling a bit. We'll give it a couple more seconds. And we can even turn it up a bit. And I can take a sip of water. You can see we mixed our eggs up. Let's test this. Nope, still not sizzling. There it goes, that's good. All right, so we're at about the temperature I want. You can see that little bit cooked up and sizzled right up. I did something here. I don't want to do that. Okay, obviously I don't know how this works. All right, anyway, enough of that, guys. All right, so we're gonna take our chicken cutlet and we want to get that nicely coated, so push it down a little bit, throw some up on the sides. Because we're gonna guys, you hear our cats killing each other there. What do you want to do, hon? Should I go get them or? All right, hold on. Sorry, wait, I'll stay. Oh God. Sorry, Wade's gonna do some editing, but we had a little cat emergency. They were killing each other for some reason. Well, there were two of them downstairs. They shouldn't be, but they wouldn't come back upstairs. All right, so we got that nicely coated in our flour, and we're gonna give it a little bath in our egg. Get out of there. Right, then we want to let the excess drain off. It's nice and hot now. So you guys have seen us do this before. Remember, always put your chicken away from you. All right. And let's get the next one in there. Now you want to fry this at least, it's going to take about 4 or 5 minutes till you get a nice crust on there. All right, so of course, if you've got a bigger pan and you think you can get more in there, by all means, get a couple more in there. This cast iron pan is the only pan, this nonstick pan is the only pan I have that works, or the biggest frying pan, I should say, that works on the cooktop. All right, so that's going to take a good 4 to 5 minutes on each side. We'll be back in 4 minutes, take a look at it, and turn it over. See you in a little bit. Okay guys, so we're just at about, ooh, nice, 5 minutes. And turn that over. Nice. Nice. All right, so we're gonna let that go for another 5 minutes. See you in 5 minutes. Okay, our chicken is nicely browned on both sides. While we were cooking, Wade asked, do you have to put that in the oven? I said, nope. And he said, how do you know it's done? Well, once you've been cooking long enough, you kind of get a good idea. Plus, this is going to rest a little while we're cooking the rest of the cutlet. And also, we're going to put this back into our sauce to warm everything up. But you can use a meat thermometer. And chicken should be right at about 160. That particular piece there is thin over there, but so we're going to be just at about 140, 154, 155. So that the rest of that's going to continue to cook as we let it rest. And like I said, we're going to put it back in the pan in a little bit. All right, so we're going to cover that with some tin foil, which I know I did have some. All right, I'm going to add a little bit more oil. And we'll give that a minute to heat back up. All right, and we'll get in our next batch. So again, we're just gonna get that nice and covered. The flour. A little piece that doesn't got flour on it. And then Wade also asked while we were cooking, don't you usually do the egg and then the flour? And in this particular method, or what we're making, the egg is the last thing because the egg is one of the things that's going to give us that nice crispy coating. So you get that bit of a sear. All right, I'm going to finish these up, get these in with the rest, keep them warm, and then we'll be back and we'll go on with the rest of the recipe. Okay, our chicken cutlets are all nicely fried up and browned and at 160 degrees. So our next step is we're going to put a little magic with lemons in there. So you want to cut your lemon in half and cut a couple slices. I've already done that, so it didn't take too much time. All right. You can cut them, they don't have to be thick. Then you just want to put them in your same pan that you browned your chicken breasts in. And we just want to get a little color on them. A little bit of brown. Get a little bit of flavoring in there. All right. Maybe a couple for each piece of chicken you end up making. And right now I'm on it about medium heat. I'm going to take a couple minutes on each side. Can you smell it? I can smell the lemon. It smells so good. Can't wait to eat. I'm probably a little low eat-wise. Go up to medium high. When you think of it, how many times in your life do you cook lemons? Not often. There we go. We got a little bit of color on that one there that I just flipped over. And there we go. You don't want to burn them. Just that little bit of brown. And one doesn't want to flip. There we go. All right, we'll give them just a couple more minutes. Or not even that, a minute. It's like watching them pot boil, right? All right, so I think those are good. So we're going to remove those. Just off to the side. We're going to put those back in our chicken in a minute. Now we're going to make our sauce. Now, some purists, that is actually a bit more than I need. I'm going to dump some of this olive oil out. Quite a bit of it. Now, if you so choose, you could go ahead and wipe that out with a paper towel so that you don't end up with any of the brown bits. I happen to like it, so I'm going to leave it like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our butter in. So now we're going to make our sauce. And again, like I said, this is a light sauce. It's not a heavy gravy. And we're going to put our butter in there. And of course, I had turned off the heat. Am I on there? No, I can't get it to go back on. All right. You don't need you. There we go. So we want that on medium high. Let's our butter melt. I just need to grab a whisk. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm going to add our tablespoon of flour in there. And we've done this many times. We're going to give this a whisk. Get that floury taste cooked off for a minute or two. Alright, that should be good. Alright, then we're going to add our cup of chicken broth. Slowly get that going in there. Now I can turn up my heat a little bit more. To medium high. Alright, at this point I'm going to put in the rest of my salt and pepper, which I use a teaspoon of kosher salt and half a teaspoon of pepper. We really haven't used that much salt in the rest of our recipe. So we're going to let this simmer. In the meantime, we can add our half a cup of wine. Oh no! I'm not going to put that in just because I've only got that half teaspoon of flour, and I want to make sure it gets the consistency we want. All right, so you want to just kind of stick around it. It's going to start to thicken up shortly. Give it a little mix once in a while. Keep an eye on it. All right, we'll be back when it starts to thicken up. Okay guys, that's just about the consistency I wanted. So we've let it do its thing and thicken up a little bit. Of course, the longer you let it cook, the thicker it's going to be. But I like it just at about, because again, we don't want a gravy, it's a sauce. All right, I'm going to give it a quick taste. Delicious. All right, we can turn it down now. And we're going to add, we're going to burn ourselves. Then we're going to add our lovely chicken breast back.
It took about 10 minutes to thicken?
Yeah, probably took about 10 minutes. Yep, thanks, son. I would say right around there. Depending on how high you've got it and how, how high you've got the heat source on, I should say. And we're going to put our chicken back in. And I've got that on about medium. I'm going to spread a little sauce over. All right, we can add our, we're going to put this but we can add our lemons in. It'll continue to give it a little bit more flavor. And like I said, we're on just about medium. We don't want to leave them in there too long because we want to have a bit of our crunch on there. All right, but we do want them to get nicely heated through. So that is about it. We're going to let that heat through for about 5 minutes and then we're ready to eat. See you in a bit. All right, guys, this is not my best video we've done. Before I put the chicken back in, I should have squeezed our lemon juice in. So we want a good squeeze of half a lemon. Of course, also, the reason I didn't have any seeds in these lemons is because I bought seedless lemons. But you want to take keep that in mind. If you're not using seedless lemons, make sure you pick the seeds out. All right, now we're going to leave it for another 3 or 4 minutes and let it heat through, and then we can eat. See you in a bit. Okay, I really feel like I deserve this meal tonight because I've been all over the place. I hope that Wade can edit this so that it comes out at least a little bit understandable. He'll do it.
I'll edit it, yep.
Got a little bit extra of the sauce. I like to just pour a little bit more on right before I start to eat. All right, let's dig in. Nice and tender. Cooked all the way through. We've got just a little green salad tonight.
It's delicious.
Very
And
good.
that sauce is awesome.
Very delicious. Like I said, we've got a green salad tonight. This goes really well with mashed potatoes as a side. You could do some angel hair pasta. Of course, you know, cook it to al dente directions according to the boss, and then toss it in a couple tablespoons of butter and some salt and pepper. That would be delicious with this. Or like I said, mashed potatoes or a mixed vegetable.
That is awesome.
Delicious. Thank you. All right, so that's all I've got to say.
Please like and subscribe. And check out cherryhillhomecooking.com. See you on the next video.
Ciao.
Bye. Tasty.
Very good.